Well, hey kids, Rio here. Welcome back to the channel. This is Wednesday, so of course this is the next in my series of film reviews. Today we're doing something a little different. We're looking at a short film that's been on the festival circuit for a while. The short film we're looking at today is called Motel Room. I feel like a little bit of disclosure is in order here. Number one, this film is actually taking place in the height of the AIDS crisis of the 80s and 90s. Secondly, it is kind of specifically set to a day, which is November 24th, 1991. That is the day that the legendary Freddie Mercury, frontman for the band Queen, passed away from complications of AIDS. So while this is kind of in the background of the story, it's still a big part of the story. So I may find myself making some editorial comments, and I may find myself being a bit snarky on certain levels of this. So depending on how you feel about this sort of thing, now might be the time to go away.
Rock singer Freddie Mercury of Queen has died. He was 45.
So Motel Room, as the title would suggest, all takes place in a singular motel room. We come into the story where we have a sex worker who has been hired by the father of a young man, with the idea that he would, lose his virginity and ergo become a man, right? This is our setup of what's happening. So we only have two primary characters in the story, one of which is, of course, our sex worker called Crystal. Crystal, of course, is played by the lovely Tammy Cates. As I've said many times before, when I do these kind of reviews, the chances are it's going to be somebody in there that I know, that I've worked with, that I'm friends with, that I have some association with. I've done 2 films with Tammy, and she is just a lovely, lovely person. Okay, so whatever bias, just cut me some slack on that. Thank you.
But I get the feeling they're not going to apply it to you, so let's just stick with the no kissing. You need some help?
No.
Our other character, of course, is our boy. Now, according to the trailer and the film itself, this child is only supposed to be 15. I'll say it again. Child, 15. Now, I am certain that the actor is much older than 15. But our actor playing the son is Sebastian Rosario, who doesn't want to be there.
You okay, honey?
So the father of our boy, our father is played by an actor named David Giannopoulos. Apparently was a graduate of the Pacific School of Theatrical Arts, so this guy's, has some chops. He's in the film very minimally, but his presence is so felt. Like, you're just like, like however you feel about it, there he is, right? And you can't deny him.
Do you know my dad well?
One side of him. Got his whole life planned. Job, house, marriage, family. And the cycle continues with you.
So now we get into the meat of the film, which is, of course, Crystal and Sebastian in this motel room. Crystal is there to do a job. And you get the impression she has done this particular job before. For the same client. There's talk about a brother of Sebastian's brother, and so I'm guessing an older brother, that perhaps the father thought this was a good idea. Commentary ends.
I hope the day comes when you realize just how special you are.
Through the course of Crystal and Sebastian kind of getting to know each other, and that's, I'm not even making like a weirdo euphemism there. As one can imagine, the initial attempt was a failure to launch. So Crystal and Sebastian begin to talk and start to get to know each other and kind of, what am I doing here? What are you doing here? And just kind of, right, okay. You don't know that either one of them wants to be there, honestly. They're in this room for different reasons. They're in this room because they feel they don't have a choice but to be in this room. And in the end, what we get is a one-act play. We get a character study of these two people from disparate places in life, coming to a common ground. I should point out that this is not a light film, okay? It addresses a lot of heavy issues. There's a lot of things that this film addresses, either directly or indirectly. It talks about homophobia. It talks about misogyny. It talks about, racism and xenophobia. Classism to an extent, honestly. There's a lot of things happening in this movie. And I guess depending upon who you are, that would probably make a difference on what exactly you see, what exactly you hear. There's a lot to grok here. And either way, it's really heavy. This is not light fare. It's not light fare. This is a very serious story, and I think it has a lot of very important things to say.
How old are you, by the way?
15.
Am I honest?
So our writer on this film is, I apologize so much in advance. Saha Garahian, only gonna say it once, is our writer, and our director is Bradford Lipson. They have a lot of experience between them doing short films. And I think being able to tell a story when you've only got 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that matters, right? You need to be very concise in a short film, right? You have two choices. You either tell a complete story in that period of time, or you're just totally obtuse and you just walk away from it going, what the hell did I just look at? These are your choices. They were the first. They were the first of those choices. They tell a very concise story, addressing so many things, on so many levels. There's even a dedication that is in the credits, that kind of tells you what they're trying to tell you. Okay, that kind of gives you a very solid view of where they were going with this film. Like I said, we only have two primary characters, so we'll talk a little bit first. We'll talk about Tammy first. It's Tammy Kate. So, like I said, I have worked with her previously, and I know her. She is a lovely, lovely person. She's a very talented actor. What she brings to this is actually not something I would have expected from her. Like, I don't know, the idea of her playing this sex worker, right? Hooker with a heart, is that the trope? She's so expressive and so just so real. I feel like I've met people like her in my life and just not realized I met that person, right? One of my favorite moments in the whole movie, and it's in the trailer, so this is not a spoiler. There's a singular line that she delivers in response to our young man. The delivery is heartbreaking. It tells you everything you need to know about her character in that one line. And I'm sorry, but that's skill, that's talent, that's brilliant.
I haven't been pretty in a long time.
Now let's focus a little bit on our young man. The actor's name is Sebastian Rosario. He's done a few other shorts, not a lot of stuff. And as I stated before, and I will state it again, I am fairly certain that this actor is not 15 years old. Okay? There are some moments in this film that are definitely not something you would want a mature actor and an underage actor to be doing. Just throwing it out there. Although, FYI, let me state for the record that there is nothing vulgar, profane, or, what's the word? There's no nudity here. Okay? This film is straightforward in its emotional impact and very little on the physical impact, if that makes any sense.
It's okay, you're doing good. Just relax and enjoy.
You feel the awkwardness. You feel the... There's so many emotions that happen all at once. There's awkward, there's embarrassment, there's shame, there's fear, there's anger, there's so much. And he manages to really wrap all of this up and deliver it to you in single sentences, in single words. Like, you're just like, oh, boo. You know, you're like, oh, my poor pumpkin. You just feel it, right? Yeah. There's a lot of things I could tell you about this film that would be spoilers, and so I'm not gonna. One thing I will say is that of all of the awards and nominations that this film got, one of its awards was for being the best LGBTQ plus short. So you can make of that whatever you want, okay? If that's a deal breaker, if that makes you want to watch it, you do you, boo.
It's okay to be different.
You're very nice and pretty.
So realistically, I've had to kind of reshoot this reaction a few times. Because I was trying to decide how I wanted to go about this. I felt I was being too editorial and too snarky. And then I felt that I wasn't giving it enough of the respect for the story it's trying to tell. And I'm kind of hoping maybe this one is the middle ground. Just trying to... I think people should see this. I think people should watch this film. And wherever you lie on certain issues, I feel that this film is enlightening. And what you do with that is up to you.
I hope you do what makes you happy. I'm scared. They don't understand me.
Rating system. No. I am going to abstain from a rating. I'm not going to give this a rating of 1 to 5. I'm not going to give it a number at all. I feel that depending upon who you are, how you feel, what your experiences are, I think this film will mean something different. And I think you'll see something different. Might be a 5 for you, might be a 1 for you. And I don't want to qualify watching this movie with a number. So all I'm going to say is that I loved it. I think it was very brilliant and intelligent and artistically done. And I'm going to tell you to watch it. And what you take from it, that's for you. I guess that's it for this week. This one was hard, you guys. I really had to try very hard for this one. Like I mentioned earlier, I filmed this one like 3 or 4 times, trying to find the right balance of saying what I wanted to say. So hopefully you'll check it out. And whatever it means to you, I hope you glean something from it. So yeah, join me next week. I have some other new stuff coming. I'm also planning on starting a series of I like it, I don't care if you don't, of films that are just my personal friggin' favorites that you may or may not have heard of, or maybe want to give a second look when you hear me talk about how much I love them. So there's that. So there's a button over here somewhere, we can hit the subscribe. And you'll get notifications for when all my new stuff, my new videos come up, and whatever other dumb crap I decide to do. Because on this channel, you never know. All right, kids. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.